I had something to say this morning.
Okay. I used to be afraid of the world outside my door, so I lived within the pages of a book. I used to be so scared of what I couldn't control. It seemed whatever I touched, I broke. The wind at my back, the grass so green, the sun on my face, it was all a dream. Till you said, wake up, wake up, wake up, take my hand. I'm here for you now, I'll help you stand. The world isn't so frightening, it's not all thunder and lightning. And as long as we are together, life can only get better. I used to be embarrassed about my eyes, my nose, my smile, so I hid my face behind my hair. I spent so many years feeling like I was drowning. Now finally I'm coming up for air. Laughing out loud, being part of a team, touching the stars, it was all a dream. Till you said, wake up, wake up, wake up, take my hand. I'm here for you now, I understand. The world isn't so frightening, it's not all thunder and lightning. And as long as we are together, life can only get better. Life can only get better.
Good morning, morning coffee. Today is Monday, February 23rd, 5 o'clock in the morning. And, what a week. What a weekend. It's been a rough month. I got my notes. Always got my notes. I messed up my shots, my medication, and it takes me cycles of a week to... Okay, so this makes sense to some of you that are new. So I'm diabetic, and I got to the point where my A1C was well over 13, and other blood tests and things that I had a couple years ago, I was going to lose my kidneys. And I'd almost defeated diabetes by proper diet and exercise. And everything was going great. And within a year, I think it was within a year to 16 months, I think we had it was something crazy, like 11 funerals. It just, people were dropping like flies, people that we just loved, and family and friends. And the depression got so high, I couldn't lose weight. I couldn't do anything. And it just got so bad that my doctor was worried that, that I was going to have to go on dialysis, actually, is what I was told. So I'd given my word, even though I try to do this all natural stuff. I don't like having to deal with pharmaceuticals, and I gave my word that if it got so bad and I couldn't take care of it in a natural way with my diet and my exercise, that I would consider pharmaceuticals. So we got to that point where my doctor was actually very emotional about it and said, you promised, and we need to save your kidneys, because I didn't want to go on dialysis for the rest of my life. And so we tried one of these popular shots. And here's the thing, my body just absorbed it. It did exactly what it's supposed to do. The challenge is I'm one of those like half of 1%, this really freakishly small percentage where I get like all the bad side effects. It kind of sucks. I've found blessings in it too. So I want to express that I'm grateful, because it's like, okay, so you're going to be sick half the time, but you get to keep your kidneys and you get to stick around longer for your family and your friends. I'll do it. And the first year that I was on this, I was just sick so much of the time. Everything from throwing up to, I'm not going to ruin your morning and give you a list, but it was a pretty big list of junk. And then slowly but surely we started at a small dosage on the shot and went all the way up over a year and a half, went up to the maximum shot, and which is what I'm on now. And what I noticed is that over time, over months and months and months, my body would acclimatize to a degree as long as I kept everything consistent. So I would take a shot on, I worked my way until I took my shot on Monday. And the reason why is because I'd get sick the first 3 days, and then I'd start to feel better. And then by the end, on day 6, right before I got to take the shot again, I'd feel normal. And so I try to arrange it so that the last day where I feel totally normal would be Sunday. That way I'm not working. It's my family day. It's where I go to church and I do, things for my community. And that's when I wanted to feel my best, when I didn't have to deal with the rest of life. And anyway, so I have no idea why. Well, part of it was from having my new phone. I have these alarms to remind me every time I got to take a shot or medications, these other things. And my new phone didn't have those. I forgot to put the alarms on, and so I missed the shot, and so everything's thrown off again. So I got to work my way up to it. So it's been kind of a rough month. I'm working my way back towards taking the shot on Monday. I had to take it on Friday, and so every week I have to go to a week and 1 day. But since that throws me off, I have to start with the stomach cramps and all the retch stuff all over again every week. So that's kind of where I'm at. It's like, bleh, whatever. And it got me thinking, and this is the point that actually really counts. Life is not what you think it is. This really has been on my mind. I'm too addicted to looking at like world events and things on YouTube, and I don't watch traditional media. I haven't watched television in like 15, 20 years, and things are not what you think they are. That's what I'm convinced of. And I want to encourage you in whatever aspect of life that you're dealing with. It's not what you think it is. It's highly likely that it's much, much better. Much better. So, I've learned in media that, media lies. They lie like rug. A lot of it is just scummy. And the people that are making the biggest, are shouting the loudest, are not necessarily, they're not the majority of the world. They're not the majority of this country. I'm in the United States. And I've learned in my own interactions, because I have friends and clients all over the country and all over the world. I've noticed that there are far more things that we have in common than we have differences. And I like to point that out. And I attach myself to those things because those are the things that matter. I'd rather connect with you. I'd rather make friends than enemies, right? So would you. And so I want to encourage you. Now, if you're a writer, it's even more so. We have this society everywhere in the world that everyone's trying to sell you stuff all the time, just in your face. And you have people collecting information, whether it's on our phones or, our computers, to gather information about you and sell it to other companies so that they can make money. But also in publishing and writing, we're told to run after the SEO and now the GEO and the AEO to make sure that we're seen. And there are people that quote and say, hey, you can get on the first page of Google. Who the flip cares? It's not what you think. So people have asked me, well, how long have you been doing this, as a creative and making a living, making money doing this? Well, since 1986, before I got on the internet. Well, how does that work? Well, it works in ways that have always worked. It's still working the exact same way, and that's through relationships. It's always relationships. That will always trump everything else. Word of mouth will always trump. You know why? Because it doesn't rely on advertising. It doesn't rely on ads. It doesn't rely on Google or Amazon or anything else. It relies on relationships. Word of mouth is about relationships. And if you're a decent person and you've made friends and you're being of service to people, offering things that they want, chances are greater than not that they're going to talk about you. Now, will it always happen? No. Will it also happen when you don't anticipate it? Absolutely. I give some examples. Now, I have thousands of examples, but two of the most prominent ones are when people say, well, you can track everything, or it's just math. That's baloney. No, it's not. Not always. Can you track those things online? Of course. But not everything. I'm the exception to so many things. Or the anomaly. Maybe I should say anomaly. That sounds more like me. I'm an anomaly. That things happen in different ways. Example. We have one point where what was it? One of my first books, Prelude to a Hero, the first version of the book, because I did unpublish everything in depression. Again, that's another story. But I had a point where it's just trickle. Every month, that's how I live. It's a trickle of books that are sold here and there. And it's constant, but it's these little trickles. It's not a whole lot. So I learned over time that, well, if I want to make a living doing this, several trickles make a little stream, and several streams make a river. So that's what you do, is you make many little trickles. Whether or not anyone agrees with me, it still works. And if you say that it doesn't, my bank account will say that you're wrong. That's just the way it is. So the other thing is that you cannot track everything that's going to happen with your books or your projects. Maybe you're not doing books. Maybe you're doing artwork. Maybe you're selling a product. You're doing something that people can talk about, whether it's a product or service. And the example that I have is, here I am doing Prelude to a Hero, trying to promote it, not being successful. And then all of a sudden, one day, out of the blue, and within about a 72-hour period, had 9,000 sales. What? How? Why? I'm thinking, I need to know why that happened and how that happened so that I can simulate it, and make it happen again. No, that didn't happen that way. I had no idea how that happened. And I went, and then I went back to a trickle. Oh, I was so discouraged. And yet, like 6 weeks or so later, it happened again, another 7,000. Why? So I laugh with people and say, you know how I sold all those books? They say, how? I was like, I have no idea. I have absolutely no idea. But it had to do with other people. And I had to think about this for a while. You can go and do everything that you want to, put out ads and all these other things. The things that these systems and programs and platforms can't track is, let's say you sell a book. In whatever way that you sell a book, you sell one book. This person really likes your book. Let's take a fantasy book, and they really love your book. Then what happens is time passes, maybe a year, and they're at a family gathering, say Thanksgiving, and they're around the table with family and friends, and someone brings up the subject of fantasy. Maybe they read a fantasy book that they really like, has nothing to do with yours. And the person that bought your book, that loves your book, brings that up and says, oh, have you read Prelude to a Hero by Jamie Buckley? By the way, don't go look that book up. It's not out there. You have to look up Choices. Anyway, so let's say Choices. Have you read the book Choices by Jamie Buckley? No. And then they talk about it around the table. There's your word of mouth. But nobody buys the book. And then what happens is months and months and months later, maybe one of the people from around the table is at work and they're talking around the water cooler in the break room, however they do it. And they start talking about books that they've been enjoying and books that have been recommended to them. And bing, it pops in their head that their friend or family member talked about Choices and this author, Jamie Buckley, around Thanksgiving. So what happens? They buy the book and they read it. And guess what? They love it. So they end up telling some friends and things at another event. And that just kind of goes viral. Not online, offline. That happens. Does it happen often? I have no idea. But I know that I couldn't track all these things. I can't track and wasn't able to track. And we've tried. In fact, I've done things that are proven techniques for so many other people. And I've gone to the extreme and had 0 results. I wouldn't even feel bad if I had bad results, but I've had 0 results. And it's always come back to relationships. It comes back to you. So I want to encourage you today. Life is better than you think it is. There's more going on out there. More good things going on out there than bad things, by the way. Oh, that's nice and warm this morning. Relationships are so critical. Relationships with readers, you and me. The relationships that we found here on Substack. Relationships through social media. Yeah, but family, friends, your church, your community, those are important. People matter. I think that's what we've forgotten. We're getting so caught up in stuff and systems and political barf, and we're forgetting about people. And no matter what you're arguing about, the thing that matters most is the person you're talking to. Your relationship with that person should, at least in most instances, should be the most important thing. But do we focus on that? Only you can answer that. Life is good. Life is great. I went to bed laughing last night, and my wife, she's sitting there. She likes to play Sudoku before she goes to bed each night. And I'm laughing. And she turns to look at me. She's like, "What are you?" And I'm staring at her while I'm laughing. She's like, "What?" I said, "I'm grateful." For what? For you. I'm so grateful that you married me. I love you. You're the happiness of my life. I love our children. I love our friends. I love my neighbors. I tell you, I know I've been saying this for years now on Substack. I live in the best neighborhood ever. I have the best neighbors. All of them are like family to me. They are family to me. They've become family to me. And I adore them. I adore my neighbors. I adore my neighbors' kids. I hate the roaming dogs, though. I tell people, if my dog gets out, I'm responsible for my dog, and it gets in with your chickens, shoot him. I know that might sound horrible, but that's my responsibility to keep them where they need to be, which is here in my home. Off topic, sorry about that. I love my neighbors. People are the most important thing. That's why I do this. You know I do this because of you. I do morning coffee. I think I do morning coffee actually because I need therapy. And I can't afford any more therapy. But I do this because you matter. I want to tell you and share my stories with you. And maybe they'll help you. Maybe they'll inspire you. Maybe they'll just entertain you and you'll have a good time and have a break from the crappy stuff in life. That's awesome. But you matter. I want you to have a good life. I want you to be the best version of you can possibly be, whatever that is. You decide what that is. Hopefully it's something to help make the world a better place. Anyway, that's what I've had on my mind this morning. I'm sorry. I haven't... This has kind of been an odd month. Odd month with coffees and everything. I had other things that I wanted to talk to you about, and then that just popped in my mind. People matter. You matter. You are more than you think you are. Keep that in mind. Have a great day. Have a great week. Go make the world an awesome place. That's what I'm going to try to do. And whether or not we succeed, let's meet up here again next Monday, and we'll chat about it. We'll see you next time.